We are doing a newscast tonight, but we are doing so with heavy hearts and pain in our collective soul. Our own Sam Merrill, the man who visited your living rooms each night for years to bring you the news, died today, and a piece of us died too. Sam collapsed this morning at home, and despite the determined efforts of rescuers, he never recovered.
Sam leaves behind his beloved wife, Katie, and his son, James, his little ninja. Sam first appeared on your TV screen in 1990. He left for a short time to work in his boyhood home of Pittsburgh. He returned to Mid-Michigan in 2002 and always said TV5 in our community felt more like home.
And many of you knew Sam not only from our broadcasts, but also through his service on various boards and community groups. We know him as a great journalist, a trusted confidant, the guy with the most astute political conversation and observation anywhere, and the guy who followed his Pittsburgh Steelers during Super Bowl years and when they weren't doing so well.
A great sports fan, and we ask you to keep Sam's family in your thoughts and prayers. Sam was a consummate professional, always calm, and a voice in the midst of chaos and breaking news. And tonight we bring you the news because it's exactly what Sam would have wanted us to do.
Live and local with coverage you can count on. This is WNEM-TV 5 News at 5.
Well, a much different picture today than 24 hours ago. Some sunshine even poking through the clouds this afternoon, but roads are still covered in snow, and we will have a live report coming up in just a few minutes.
People continue to dig out of more than 10 inches of snow in some spots, made even worse by the drifts caused by powerful winds. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm David Custer.
And I'm Colette Boyd. The snow finally stopped late this morning, but not before leaving behind a whole lot of snow. Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman is in the Weather Center with more. Hi, Brian.
Hi there, David and Colette. Actually, things taking a very peaceful turn on our Thursday evening here tonight. Plenty of sunshine even poking through the clouds in a lot of locations as we all begin that very long process of starting to dig out today. As much as 14 inches of snow at last check in some locales, and we'll highlight a few for you coming up here in just a second. But let's take a sample, shall we, of some brighter skies as we look outside tonight at Owasso High School. Current temperature 24 degrees, but the cold in the air definitely going to become a bit more aggressive tonight as the winds are more or less going to maintain the status quo that they've been holding ever since the storm started on Wednesday. Currently wind chill there, as you can see, about 13 degrees. So if you do have to head out this evening, just make sure to take that extra measure to bundle up. All of the winter storm warnings gone at this point. There's just a lingering winter weather advisory remaining in effect just for the tip of the thumb in Huron County. This more for blowing snow because you've got those winds coming straight in off of Saginaw Bay tonight. Nothing really to kind of block and deaden those winds, so we could still see some visibility problems there. As for the snowfall totals, pretty hefty in some locations. Peck came in with 14.1. That's the highest total we've seen out of this event. Burton not too far behind at 14 inches exactly. 13.7 for Lapeer, and Perry and Alma coming in just under 13.5 inches respectively in those spots. 13 inches right on the nose in Columbiaville, Kingston, an even foot of snow, and then progressively from about 11.9 in Flint to 11 inches in Davison, excuse me. First 1-5 Sky Tracker tonight showing the storm, of course, pretty well gone at this point, leaving a few holes in the clouds to let the sunshine through. But don't rule out a few flurries tonight, especially as you can see in areas off to the north where we do have a little bit of lake effect kicking in on the backside of the event. Temperatures, as we mentioned, even with the sunshine, really not bouncing back a whole lot, mostly in the upper 20s this evening. And the winds still not really helping our cause at about 15 to 25 mile per hour range. So expect those wind chills likely to be down much closer to the teens and single digits. We're going to cool way down into the teens by morning, but we're going to hold a relative calm, at least compared to the last couple of nights anyway. Mostly cloudy skies, a few scattered flurries possible, nothing that's going to cause any major disruptions. As we said, temperatures just kind of slowly back their way down into the upper teens tonight. We'll take a look at what's ahead for your weekend coming up.
Thank you, Brian. The storm also left behind some considerable damage overnight. TV5's Gino Vici took a look at some of it today and continues our team coverage.
Strong winds from yesterday's winter storm knocked out power, even ripping down signs here at Tri-City East Storage. Down the road, the blistering winds ripped down another sign. This one at Taco Bell.
Right here on Center Road in Essexville, clearly one of the hardest hit areas. Right across the street from that Taco Bell that had the sign damage. Speedway still closed because of no power.
A few doors down from that Speedway gas station, El Mexicano restaurant escaped damage to its building, but power lines were damaged nearby. Carlos Mendoza says the restaurant had to shut down when the storm hit.
We still did get some business earlier in the day, but it does make an effect on us when we do lose power.
Mendoza says thankfully the crews from Consumers responded quickly to get the restaurant back open.
We are up and running thanks to consumers for coming out here and helping us with that issue. We are running regular business hours now.
In all, nearly 1,000 customers in Bay County lost power. Thankfully, no serious injuries were reported, and there were less than a dozen accidents. Meanwhile, El Mexicano restaurant wants to offer a special to help customers warm up after the winter storm.
We do have half-off margaritas.
Reporting in Bay County, Gino Vici, WNEM-TV 5.
And if you took any pictures or videos during the storm, we want to see them. Just send your storm pics to WNEM at WNEM.com. You can also post them on our Facebook page.
Well, Bernie Sanders will be in Michigan in less than 2 weeks for a debate with Hillary Clinton, but he's not waiting until then to appeal to area voters. Sanders making a surprise appearance in Flint today, and that's where we find our Andrew Keller live. Drew.
Sam was supposed to cover this event tonight, and he was a big-time political junkie, and whenever I would go out to cover these types of events, he always reminded me, with politics, you have to cut through the bull. I'm going to try to do that right now. Now, the event was held at Woodside Church just about a half an hour ago is when it wrapped up. Senator Bernie Sanders spoke to a few hundred people to get in and talk to them for about an hour and a half about the Flint water crisis. Now, in his opening remarks, Sanders referenced his 7 own grandchildren and the fears and frustrations he would have had if he lived in Flint. And then he opened it up for dialogue. Now, he listened to people of Flint as they laid out their concerns about the city's infrastructure and how he wants to propose a $1 trillion investment to help rebuild Flint's infrastructure and other cities like Flint that are suffering the same type of issues.
That if there is anything positive, if there's any silver lining out of this tragedy, it is my hope that the American people will look at Flint and say, never again can we allow a community to undergo this.
And also tonight, Sanders says that the federal government needs to do more in this emergency to help the citizens of Flint. He got plenty of cheers when he stood up and said that the people of Flint should not have to pay for what they call poisoned water. Live in Flint, I'm Andrew Keller, WNEM-TV 5.
All right, Drew, thank you. And we'll have much more on Bernie's visit to Michigan. That's tonight at 6.
And crews continue to try to restore power to the area after those heavy storms that knocked it out.
Tonight at 6, we ride along with one of those crews to get a first-hand look.
And as the snow was falling, some weren't seeing white. They were seeing green. Tonight at 5:30, how a pair of youngsters turned the storm into a moneymaker.
And tow trucks busy pulling people out of driveways and ditches. We follow them around as they do their work.
And as we said at the beginning of our show, our beloved friend and colleague Sam Merrill passed away suddenly at his home this morning.
But he wasn't just our friend, he was yours. And tonight, thousands of you are letting us know what he meant to you. Now, throughout tonight, we will share some of your kind words.